All right, here we are. Live stream for Helionox Deluxe Edition. Hopefully, oh, looks like I got a few viewers here already. Excellent. So let me know if you're having any problems hearing me. Hopefully everything sounds good. Hopefully everything, you can see everything. Excellent. All right, so kind of a mixed bag, weird stuff going on. This is the Deluxe Edition. I got my advanced copy just in time for this live stream. I'm going to show you all the pieces here. So everything's looking good for the most part. I'm going to go ahead and say the one bit of bad news. There has been a manufacturing error about one component, and I'll show you that as I get into it. But basically, there's been a little bit of a mix-up with some of the event cards. Fortunately, it doesn't. The game's still quite playable, and the error is. We're going to figure out a way to rectify it, and hopefully it's not going to delay the shipping too much. We shall see. The really good news is the entire pallet is at the fulfillment center, and we are in the queue for shipping. I was hoping to ship next week. Good chance. Well, there's still a good chance of that happening. So I don't know exact date of when we're going to be shipping. It's obviously not going to be January now, like I had hoped. Again, another pushback. So hopefully it'll be next week, early in the week. We shall see. So I'll go ahead and kind of show you all the stuff as we're going through here. If you guys got any questions, feel free to drop them in the message board here. And, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to click this live stream on Facebook thing too. Hopefully that works. Let me see here. Share to a group. And the group is called Zeroic Games. Does that work? Share on, there, it's a page. That's what it is. There it is. All right. Sharing on the page. Excellent. All right, so hopefully that's working over on the Facebook, so hopefully people can get in there. All right, so here we go. I'm going to show you what's in the box. First of all, it's going to be coming in a box much like this, full of a whole bunch of good stuffy stuff that will keep it protected for you. Shrink wrap and stuff, I've already pulled it, what all was in here. So without further ado, here's the box. There's the back of the box. Oops, I put it on upside down. Back of the box. It's all looking real good. I've never really done an unboxing before, so you know, let me know if there's anything specific that you want to see on here. Everything's looking real cool. This is my favorite side of the box. I think this one looks awesome. There's the other side of it. Yeah, the big box. So let's take this box topper off, kind of put that guy, just kind of put him over to the side here. And, oh, you can see it's all printed on the inside here with all the different faction symbols. I think this part turned out really cool as well. Tons and tons of tokens to go with it here. So here's the token sheets, all unpunched. There's all the influence tokens, and these are nice because the original, I don't know how many of you played the original one, but the original one they were double-sided, but they had different numbers on both sides. These are all just the same number on both sides. You've got a bazillion ones, a bazillion threes, a bazillion tens. So it's much easier to score keep with this sheet than the old days, and there's tons of them too. So that turned out real well. This sheet has a bunch of the new stuff on it. Infamy tokens. And let's see, we've got also these credit tokens, which actually we've got wood for the single versions of these and wood for the single versions of these. And I'm going to show you those here in a sec. Those turned out really well. This part is, where are those? Oh, those are cryo counters. So yeah, a bunch of new stuff on this sheet. So tons of cool stuff there. Here's the rule book. Archerig, you're familiar with this one. This one turned out real well. Super happy with how the rule book turned out this time around. One of my favorite parts, I'm going to show you the back. This part right here, let's see if that can focus. Well, can't quite focus. But the cool thing is, all you have to do is flip the rule book over, and it tells you basically everything you need to know for setup, which is really handy. I love it when games, you don't have to go digging through the rule book to just find out how to set the thing up. It's right here. Just bam, you flip it over, you're good to go. But yeah, Archery helped me design this rule book, and it turned out very nicely. So thank you for that. Actually, you know, he actually gave me the idea to do these things too. These are the, get those up there a little bit. These are the player mats, and they turned out really well. You can see there are 4, there we go. That is weird. When I get up too close, they don't really focus very well, but you can see there are 4 different art prints on these. And on this side, this is basically all the symbology that you need during the game. And then this side is all the rule stuff that you need during the game. So flipping back into the rule book, I mean, maybe the first time you play it, you'll jump back into the rule book a little bit. But for the most part, everything you need during gameplay is right on your character sheet, which is really nice because you're like, oh, how much does it cost to travel to a new location? Oh, it's on here. So all the stuff that you need to play right here, your organizers kind of up across the top and around, and put all the cards on the sides. So basically everything you need to know to play through is right on these sheets, and they turned out beautifully. Artwork from Luke, of course, off of some of the different things. These are very, very nice. So there's those sheets. And then, of course, we've got a double-sided board. And this turned out really nicely. It's a 4-fold. There's the original. There's the original side. Let's see. Yeah, this is the original side that I used for the player mat. That was the kind of rubber player mat that I had in the original one. So that's kind of that art print on those. That's focusing really weird. I feel like it's kind of blurry or something. And then this side is the kind of alternate version, solo mode in mind. I mean, you don't have to play this solo. It could be anybody can use it. I've been actually playing with this mode a little bit more, but the idea was specifically for solo mode. That's focusing so strangely. Let me pull that up a little. There we go. There we go. That looks better. Just needed a little bit closer to us. So you can kind of see it's got a horizontal layout on everything, and I'll show you how to set it up here in a second. It goes across this way. So this is your locations up here, and then you put your illegal tech down here, and then some other pieces there. So this one is a horizontal layout, which is kind of nice for a solo player because you can basically point everything right towards you, and the main things that you're going to be doing are right in front of you. You know, your market is going to be up here, and then your this is kind of the other things that you get. So they're a little bit further away. But in this mode, it's more centralized. It's a vertical layout for the multiplayer mode or whatever. You can use this one for solo too. So, but they both turned out really nice. I really like how these things turned out. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Man, like I said, so with this crazy news with the manufacturer, I'll go ahead and kind of speak to that right here. I've just been kind of like, oh, are you kidding me? Another delay, another kind of setback. But really, I don't think it's going to delay things too much. We just kind of have to figure out exactly how we're going to do it. But what happened was I got my shipment, and there's this extra random pack of cards. And I'm like, well, okay, that's weird. Everything's supposed to be in the box. And these are separate. So most likely when you get your package, you're going to have an extra set of cards in there. This is all the catastrophic events for the game, except the problem is it's not all of them. There's supposed to be 10, and there's only 8 in here. No idea. So you can play the game without catastrophic events completely, actually. They're a little bit more fun with it. With 8 of them, you can still do everything you need to do. So hopefully it's not going to be that big of a deal. Hopefully we're going to find those extra ones and be able to just throw them right in the box for you guys, and it's not going to be slow anything down. We'll have to figure something out for that, but shouldn't slow it down too much. Those are going to be a separate pack. The other thing that you're going to get is, and this is kind of weird. This is just kind of a bonus for, you know, backers. We're not going to do this for the retail version, but we decided it'd be really cool. So I'm going to show you the inside of the box now. So this is the inside of the box. And what we decided to do for backers, since this well was kind of large for the cards, we decided to include this cool foam piece, which fits right in here and holds the cards this way. And, you know, this kind of holds things in place nicely, pushed up against there. Let's see, Simon's asking about, yeah, be able to send them later if you don't have them. Yeah, that's the plan. You know, either we'll send them later or we'll put them all in the box. My thought is, so just to kind of speak to what's going on with that, you know, hopefully we'll have them show up and be able to just throw them all in the boxes. Won't slow anything down. It's kind of going to be a way. We'll have to weigh, like, is it worth delaying to get the extra pieces? Is it worth it to go ahead and ship it out and then send them to people later on? We do end up having to send to people later on. It'll be pretty expensive. So we'll just have to see how things go. I'll keep everybody posted. I am going to have a update come out this week with our solution. So hopefully within 48 hours, I'll have at least a plan in place. So this piece right here, let's see. Oh, asking about the Mercury Protocol expansion. Interesting thing about that. So we decided, after going back and forth with the manufacturer a few times about what we wanted for the Mercury Protocol expansion, they were so confused about it. All you Mercury Protocol expansion backers, you're going to get the whole thing. It turned into a mess trying to separate the thing out. So there you go. Another bonus for you Mercury Protocol backers. You know, thanks for backing me last time is kind of the idea there. Yeah. And it solves a lot of other problems. You know, the card backs will have matching card back issues and all that kind of stuff. So you'll just have your last edition and a big thank you for backing me last time. So cool. There you go. So yeah, everything will be going out at the same time as far as all that goes. This cool solution is actually really nice as far as kind of the overview goes here. You can see this has the, let me get that a little bit closer. This has the dividers in it, and you can kind of see how it separates them in there. And the dividers stick up so you can actually see the different card types throughout. And there's some different, you know, different sections that you can put things in. You can kind of organize them however you want, but this is really nice, keeps them in place. And actually, if you are a sleeve, if you're a card sleever and they don't all fit on this one side, you'll obviously have plenty of room over on this other side, and you'll still have room for all your tokens. Ooh, what are those? We're gonna look at those in just a second. So you'll still have room to put things on both sides pretty easily, even with all the extra tokens, because there's a little bit of extra space. And if you sleeve them, you know, who knows, they'll probably take up maybe like that much room. So stuff all your tokens in that side. So let's take a look at the tokens. This is my first reveal on these. Well, I guess I had some photos, but this is the first time I've seen them. And these turned out really nice, I think. So turn your head away if you still want a surprise, because these are kind of a surprise, but I think these things turned out pretty well. So here are the tokens. Let me, you know what I'm going to do? This camera here. Let's see. Try not to make everybody sick. There are the tokens kind of laid out on the table. And you can see, you know, these are the embassy tokens. And they're all, I tried to make them, they're all slightly different. For instance, like, you know, this one has its center filled in, even though it's on red. This one has the center not filled in, even though it's on blue, and they're both half filled. So I tried to make every one a little bit different as its iconography, as well as having different colors, because I know, you know, there were concerns about colorblind issues and stuff like that. So those turned out real well. I like having printed on wood. And then, of course, the ships. The ships turned out amazing. You guys are going to love these. There are 3. Where's the 4th ship? There it is. So there are the ships, and they all turned out really well. And the cool thing about these is, of course, they can stand up or lay down, whichever you prefer, and they don't look anything like the embassies, which was kind of one of my problems with the last version of it. I was like, oh, you know, they were like the same size token, and people were like picking up their embassy and moving it and stuff like that. So these turned out really well. Let's see. These are the defense, a little bit light on the print on those, but these are the defense tokens, and then the credit tokens, of course. So there's plenty of those to go around. Oh, and the cubes. The cubes these are for cargo. So these are all for the Mercury Protocol expansion, is the cargo there. So yeah, these turned out really great. I really like the printing on them. I think the original delay came as a result from them getting these print files right for these tokens. And fortunately, they nailed it on that. These actually turned out really well. So worth the wait on those, I guess. All right, go ahead and put this back up here. Let's see. So got some questions coming in. Tokens look good. Will there also be the standard cardboard tokens or just the wooden ones? Oh, you might have missed the intro there. There are some. So the wooden ones do replace, focus here just a bit. The wooden ones do replace a few things. So like you're not going to get any ships or embassies on the cardboard. The cardboard is just some other things you need. So all your points and, you know, a few of the other things you need, your cryo and some of the other things that you need there. So those are still on cardboard. But yeah, the prints on these, yeah, these turned out really nice. I really liked how these things turned out. So let's see here. Anything else? So kind of back to my box here with the dividers. So I've broken it up. I think I got 10 dividers is what we finalized on. So I have one in there, and they're all printed dividers, of course. They all have really cool artwork on them. And this one's the Mercury Protocol one. And, you know, this one is just like for your location. So be real nice and handy as far as organizing these things go. Everything fits in here real tight and really nice. I really like this feature. I wish I could put this in all the retail versions, but just isn't going to happen. So this is your Kickstarter exclusive foam right here. So that's kind of fun. But that turned out real well. All right, so and actually it actually fits in there real nicely and keeps them all sort of snug. So it's kind of a different way of doing it, because you would think, I mean, box kind of lays out like this. I think the retail people are going to have to be, you know, they'll have it kind of like this. And so there'll be some kind of like extra space on the side, which I like to have my stuff kind of tight in there. So I think it'll be pretty nice as far as all that goes. So let's see. I think what I want to show you guys, I'm going to show you a setup of the board and kind of how you can take it out of the box and put it on the board. And that's probably the main things that I will show you guys today. So if you want to hang out for this, I will show you. Let's see, which side do you guys want to see? Should we do, we'll call this setup on side A or setup on side B? Cast a vote here. Side A is kind of the sun, maybe sort of multiplayer mode. Side B is more the solo mode. Side B. All right, we got one vote for side B. Let's do it this way. All right. All right, then, let's do this. Okay, so I'm going to kind of angle this down a touch. That's so reflecty there. Try to get rid of a little bit of that glare. Okay, so this is the side B. I don't have the greatest camera. You know what I can do? Oh, let me try this. Let me just turn down my brightness a touch. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Now it's not quite so glary. Okay, so you can like set up these pieces you know, for each of the players kind of around the board, of course, and they'll kind of, you know, this will be right here, and then this player. And basically I set it up so that only your tokens will go across the top, because it seems like most tables are a little bit shorter this way and you have more room kind of width-wise. So I put the cards that you're going to have kind of along the sides here, and you'll just have tokens up here. So you only need to have your player mat about that far from the board, which would be pretty nice because that'll fit your tokens in there pretty nicely. And you can put, you know, you just kind of stack up your embassies. Each player gets 5 embassies, 1 for each location. Each player gets also a ship token, and I'll show you where that goes in just a second. And then in addition, each player gets an architect. So I go into my handy box here and I look for my architects, and there's my architects. And that's probably like the first thing you guys will want to do when you get the game. The cards are in there and just like a big pile. So just sort them and use the dividers to sort them. And that'll make your life way easier just kind of right off the bat. You'll kind of be able to figure out what cards go with what pretty quickly. So use those dividers to sort your cards when you get them. There are 15 architects in the game, of course. All this artwork just turned out amazing. So you pick your architect that you want to play with, put it right here in the middle of your player board. Don't forget to grab your cryo tokens. Those are, like I said, I didn't even punch those, but those are going to be on here. Those are your cryo tokens. And you can put those again right up here next to your embassies. You don't start the game with any infamy or influence. You'll just get that throughout the game. If you are playing the Mercury Protocol expansion, well, we'll get into that in a second. Let's just do the basic setup. So there's this guy. You're going to also want to get your starting decks ready. So again, in the box, I have all the starting cards pulled into their own slot. That's the starting card slot right there. And you can jump into here, and it tells you, you know, how to set all this stuff up. Actually, you will have to look in the book for that part of the setup, but it's all on the back as far as how to set all this stuff up. Setup is pretty basic. You're going to get 5 material assets. Those are just like your basic credits, 1 credit per card. And you're going to get 5 of those. Every player gets 5 of those. Every player also gets 3 Sentinel prototypes. Those give you 1 defense. So you start the game with 5 of those, 3 of those, and that's the same for each player. And then each player also gets 2 cards that are unique to their deck. So you can see these are, and again, the starting cards are denoted by the little orange dot right there in the corner. So if it's a starting card, it has that orange dot. That just makes them very easy to find. And if I take the bio starting cards, I get both of the bio starting cards. They have that little bio symbol in the corner, or transport starting cards. So I can pick either one of those, or actually there's of course 4 factions. So there's the transport, bio, those are cybernetic, and those are the defense ones. And actually both the defense and the cyber ones are different from the original Last Sunset. I'm gonna take this jacket off, it's getting warm in here. Oh, let's see. One question. If you are a late backer, you get the game same time as everyone else or later on in the year. Late backer meaning like Indiegogo? Yes. Indiegogo stuff's going to ship same time. Yep, you should be good to go. I have them all. They're on separate lists, but those should all be shipping out right about the same time. So, yeah, good question on that one, Zach. Thanks for joining us here. You must have been like a $1 backer to get the notification on this and then jumped over on Indiegogo. That's awesome. So glad a lot of people jumped in on that one. So 10 starting cards is what you get. 10 starting cards, and then your architect. Gives you a lot of flexibility right at the beginning of the game. Oh, and I put, these aren't really starting cards, these are the prime assets, but I don't have a divider for prime assets, so I just threw those in with my starting cards. Again, those actually start on the board, and you can put those right up here in this corner is where your prime assets go. I'm going to pull this guy out of the way for now, get this a little bit closer to everybody. We'll talk about that maybe here in a minute, just a bit more. So pull that up closer. So yeah, prime asset up here in the corner. And that's just, again, one part of the setup. The other part is, so this isn't actually part of the market, but this is a card that you can buy each turn. These allow you, these allow you to upgrade and get more money each turn. They give you 2 credits instead of the 1 credit. And then in addition to all of that stuff, let's see, is that all the stuff you get? You get your deck, you get your cryo counters, you get your architect, and your starter player mat. Yep, that's all you get for starting. And then what you do is you take, so I've broken up all the different factions here. So defense faction, bio faction, transport faction. I wish I had the little symbol on there, but I couldn't fit it on there quite right. So I was like, okay, I'll just use the word. So you kind of get a little bit more familiar with the different words in this. But you take that whole pile of those, and then you build the market. And the market is right over here. So there's going to be 4 piles in the market, meaning you're going to put defense cards, bio cards, and you can actually match up the symbols on these so that you know which pile they go in. It doesn't really matter which spot you put them in, but if you want to follow along with the game board, that's how you do it. And I'm putting them out there face up right now, but they're not going to be face up. You just basically shuffle these, each pile separately, and then after you shuffle them, you turn over the top card face up. And when that card gets purchased, goes into somebody's deck, you'll flip over the next card. So that's how that market works. So you build the market. It's pretty straightforward as far as how to building it. Again, the box just kind of helps you, or the dividers just help you plop them right out on the board. And you can put it away that way, so every single time you pull it out, you're going to be good to go on that stuff. And then, let's see, you have to make your event deck. And again, the event deck is all mapped out. This is one of my favorite parts. The event deck is all mapped out on the back of your rule book as far as how many players you are and how the event deck breaks down, depending on whether you're playing, 2-player competitive. Here's the cooperative ones down here. So it just kind of depends on what you're playing as far as your event deck goes. Basically, in general, it works out to about 9 turns per player. So in competitive, it'll be 9 events per player. And then the actual breakdown of it is on that last page. So the events turned out real well. I've got a bunch of different event cards. Some of these are new to the deluxe edition. Again, they're marked. You can probably see the little kind of triangle shape down there. That's indicating, oh, these are ones that you want to use only if you're using the expansion. For the most part, actually, you could use these in the base game. They're just a little bit. Some of them are a little bit more complicated. Some of them aren't. Some of them are same. So I would just wait until you played it through before you add these in, but they turned out really cool. So you make your event deck. Your event deck is going to go right here. And then, of course, if you're playing Mercury Protocol, if you're playing Mercury Protocol, you do get one more thing that I didn't mention for the base game. In addition to, and I'll put this back here. This is the player mat again. In addition to your architect, you also get what's called a fleet asset. And that's this guy right here. And this is just a card that if you're playing Mercury Protocol, this is where you're going to put your cubes, your cargo, as you pick up your cargo. You can store it on your player mat here. And I put these different symbols on here. I don't know if you can see those or not. I put those different symbols kind of across that because, again, with color deficiencies, I wanted, I thought, man, a lot of people use cubes in their games, but how do people with any type of color deficiency tell the difference in these colors? So you can actually put, if this is a blue cube, well, there's the blue symbol actually on this card. And you can just put your blue cube next to that card, which will make it a little bit easier to track what's what. Again, if that's not an issue, you can just throw them on there. But this is kind of nice. So you get fleet asset, and there's only one type of fleet asset in the game right now, although I'm just kind of leaving it open. I suspect in future expansions, there'll be other types of fleet assets. So that's those. That's your fleet asset. So you get one of those as well. And then, so that's basically it. Well, the only other thing you got to do for setup, almost it for setup, you also have your locations. We haven't put out the locations yet. So locations go in order, and they go like this. So this is your old world location, and this is your lunar location, your moon location, your Martian location. Actually, these are the base game ones. I'll start with all the base game ones. and then that's Europa, and then there's Ceres. So these go across here, and then if you're just starting out the game, all players start on the old world. So you can stand up your tokens or you can lay them down, either way. All players are going to start here except for one. There's one character, one architect who actually instructs you to start on Europa. So she's kind of unique in that. That's the Duchess, by the way. You guys might remember her from the campaign. So everybody starts here. And then each turn, depending on what type of mode you're playing, if you're playing competitive, one event is going to come out every turn. So you put out the event. This is an old world event, so it comes down here to the old world. I'll kind of focus that down a little bit. If I overcome that event on my turn, meaning I use cards from my hand, like those defense cards I was showing you, you can use defense cards. This one costs 3 defense to overcome. I will immediately gain 3 influence. So that's those little green symbols. They're little green tokens, and you get those. Those are points, victory points, influence. Player with the most influence at the end of the game wins. If I can overcome that, then I'm good to go. I take it off the board, and it goes away. If I can't overcome it, on the next player's turn, it will flip over and become an active event. So this is inactive event. This is active event. Still, most of them have the same cost to overcome, although there's a few that do cost more to overcome if you let them become active. But they also do other stuff, like they shut down the location, meaning I can't use these locations. Each location has a location bonus. If it's a shutdown location, meaning there's an active event there, I can't use that location bonus. And then they have other effects on them here. Some of them are different costs to overcome. Like this one, you can actually pay money to overcome. Some of them are actually penalties for trying to leave that location if it's an active event. They try to penalize you a little bit for it. So it just kind of depends on what it is. Events can stack up. So if you have like multiple, for instance, if I have an active or an inactive series event, on the next turn this becomes active. And then if the next card on the event deck was another series event, it would come out here as an inactive event. So you can stack up events. You can overcome them in any order, any of that kind of stuff. But that's one of the main 2 resources. Defense is kind of like a resource. You use that resource to overcome these events and gain influence. The other type of influence is, of course, credits. I'll put the symbols out there. This is the credit token. This is the defense token. And you use credits for a number of different things. One thing is you use it to buy cards from the market. The other thing is you use it to fly around the solar system, and it costs 2 credits to fly to any location. Also costs 2 credits to drop an embassy at a location. Embassies give you a few bonuses. You can, let's see, if you're at this location with just your ship, you can use this top bonus, which here at the moon is you can gain 1 defense. And anytime you gain a defense, you can grab one of these tokens and put it on your player mat. So just toss that player mat right here. You put it over here in the turn use side of your player mat. This is the other thing that the player mats do for you. Also, if I gain any credits, like for instance, if I played, where did I put those cards? If I played a couple of material assets, those give me 1 credit. I could also gain 1 credit for each one of those that I played. Now, notice these are on the turn use side. This side is called the bank. On the turn use side, at the end of my turn, if I have anything left in here, it clears out. So I want to try to use all that if I can. But the cool thing is you can gain it up. You can just kind of play all of your credit cards and all of your defense cards and build those up over the course of the turn, and they don't go away until the end of the turn. So you can fly around to different locations while you have this stuff in your bank, and it won't clear out until the end of your turn. Not in your bank, in your turn use side. If you have it in your bank, it actually won't clear out until the end of the turn. Now, the only thing that uses the bank is some of the cards in the Mercury Protocol expansion. So you won't, if you're just playing the base game, you won't even use the bank. You'll just put stuff over on this side of it. And you can even, if you need more space, you can kind of put it up here. This is just some of the rule stuff. So there's plenty of space to put your little tokens over there. So back to, I think I was talking about embassies. If I'm at this location, I can use this top bonus with my ship, and that gives me 1 defense. If I have an embassy at this location, meaning on a previous turn or even on this turn, I paid 2 credits to drop my embassy there. I can get 2 defense instead of 1. And again, that stuff just goes immediately to my turn use area. So that's a little bit about kind of flying around to the different locations, dropping your embassies, how you'll use the cards from your hand. You're going to be drawing 5 cards every turn. And you can play any number of cards. There's no actions or anything. You just keep playing cards. Usually the limiting factor is money. You'll run out of money on your turn, or you'll run out of defense. Usually it's money because you start flying around and then it's like, oh no, I can't do anything else. So that'll stop your turn. Let's see. I think that's kind of an overview of the main game. The only other thing that I will mention, it's kind of a brief overview, but it does tell you most of what you need to know. You can get set up and play on this pretty quick. The other thing I will mention as far as Mercury Protocol goes, if you are at a location, there are also going to be these, what are called illegal tech cards at each of these locations. And depending on what version you're playing, will determine how many of these there are. In, I think, 1 and 2 player, there's only 1 at each location. 3 and 4, there's going to be 2 at each location. Let me find a blue one here. There's the Wraith. Okay. So in order to pick up these illegal tech cards, you have to be at that location. So if I'm here at the moon, I can pick up this black market arsenal, which does some powerful things. The way that I can pick it up is I have to trade in cargo for it. So that's the little cargo symbol up there in the corner. These have a cost. You can see the regular cards in the regular market have a cost up in that upper left corner. That's just credit cost. You can pay credits to get those. These have a different kind of cost, and it's the cargo that you're picking up. You can pick up cargo at any location. So let's say I start my turn on the old world. If I spend 1 credit, say I spend a credit out of my turn use area, I can pick up a cargo, and I can pick up a green cargo because you see I'm at the old world and they have green cargo there. I don't know what that good is, but it's something green. You pick that up and you put it on your fleet asset on credit. Now I can keep this here on, for the rest of my turn. Nice. I like that, Zach. So if you pick this up, then I can later on my turn, I could move over here and I can remove this cargo. It goes away. That remove it is, I just put it at this location I just delivered to, or just above it, just to indicate, because you can only deliver to a location once per turn. You can only pick up from a location once per turn. So there's some limiting factors on how many times you can do this. So I just put it there, and then at the end of the turn, it goes back to the supply. But so on my turn, I get that, and I can actually, now that I've traded in that cargo, I could get this black market arsenal from there. And this it acts like a regular card. All the cards that you get, whether they're from the market or from the black market here, from the illegal area, they go on top of your deck when you buy them. And yeah, so you can use, so you know what's going to come up next. The illegal tech's a little bit dangerous because each one of the illegal tech gives you infamy. That's this little red symbol that you see here. And infamy is actually negative points at the end of the game. And not only do they give you infamy when you play them, but they're actually worth -3 points at the end of the game, or they're actually worth 3 infamy at the end of the game. So the key is you play them a few times, but then you try to do something to get rid of them. There's cards that let you consume cards in this game, and you can completely remove it from your deck. So the idea is if you get rid of this illegal tech before the end of the game, hey, guess what? You're in luck. You're not going to get penalized for it. So you got rid of the evidence is kind of the idea. Yeah, thanks for the compliments on the art. Luke did such a good job on the art on this thing. He's quite the artist. And this is the first game that he's ever illustrated. In fact, this is some of the first drawings he's done in like 10 years. So I keep telling the story about Luke, but I just think it's a great story. I mean, just look at some of this art. He looks at this piece and he's like, yeah, it's okay. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? That is amazing. So some of them he liked more than others, but yeah, he's phenomenal. I mean, look at the difference. Same guy, same artist did, I don't know if you guys can see those very well, but like they're not even like the same style of art. It's like almost like 2 different artists. Like this one has this like anime sense, and this one has this like realism sense. So cool on the art. But I think that's basically it. There's probably a few other things about Mercury Protocol I didn't really explain, but yes, definitely more to come from Luke. We're actually working on another game right now, which I will speak to just a little bit. Yeah, we've talked about a graphic novel too. It's funny. We used to do comic books together when we were kids, and yeah, that's kind of where the idea. He was always a way better artist than me. I was never like very good at that. So he's like, "Hey, I'd like to do some art for a game." When we started talking about this, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. That sounds great." And he just started cranking out this stuff. It's so awesome. But yeah, I'd like to see him do a graphic novel too. New game we got coming out. It's called Festival, and I'll be making some announcements about that soon. Hopefully, that'll be coming earlier this year than later. Oh yeah. Like these t-shirts? No t-shirts available right now. Another guy in our play group hooked these shirts up for the whole Helionox team. But yeah, I haven't made any. I should make some available on my website. Maybe I might do that if you guys are interested. The artwork turned out so great. This one's really cool. This is one of the cybernetic guys. But yeah, there's so much good artwork in here. It's like, why not? You can make a few different ones. You guys are the best. So let's see. Yeah, I think that's about all I got here. Unless you guys got any more questions for me or wanted to see anything else in particular, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Like I said, I'm going to get out an update and let you guys know the plan as far as shipping goes. Still loosely targeting starting shipping next week. That's the loose plan. Again, I was hoping to get it out this week. I thought we were actually really close to being able to make it starting shipping at least in January, but I think we'll be pretty close, and I'll let you know the rest of the plan a little bit later this week in the form of an update. So excellent. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Thanks for the compliments. Thanks for the, just sticking with me on this one. Nobody is more ready to get this than I am. I tell you what, this is what it is. So should be coming along here real soon. Hey, look, Luke's here with us. Excellent. There's our artist, Luke. Everybody say hello to Luke. He's the man. So yeah, thanks for popping in here, guys. And I'll keep you posted on everything that's going on with this, and we'll get this thing to you sooner than later. Worst case scenario, we'll ship it out without a couple of catastrophic events, and you can just start playing it, and then hopefully the other catastrophic events will show up sooner or later. So, all right. Hey, you guys are awesome. I'll do another live stream too once we start shipping, I'm sure. And yeah, with that, take care, y'all, and we'll chat again soon. All right. Until next time.